This is one of the more prominent buildings in Svishtov. It's in a fairly elevated position and it's surrounded by various staircases up and down a hill which overlooks the river Danube. It's an interesting area, having this large human sundial which our volunteer is now demonstrating. You can see a shadow as she stands in the middle, and it's casting itself over the number 12, which means we were here at midday. Our volunteer is photographer Zlati, who is from the Svishtov area, and her mum is also seen in the picture there, as is the river Danube, which we have a great view of from here. Our own photographer Colin from Chester has come over to spec the place out to see if it's a good place to bring other photographers, and as you can see there's a number of ruins and also some very nice buildings to photograph and some good backdrops. And now we come back down the hill and we go into Zlati's old school. She demonstrates now where all the interesting features are, but it's quite a piece of architecture right up to the ceiling. There's some fantastic walls, corridors, ceilings, paintings, you name it. This place is good for photographs and apparently also used for weddings. Moving on, and we now visit one of the museums in Svishtov. This one is actually dedicated to the person who lived there, and you're allowed to have a look around his house where his family lived. We went around the house with a guide and she told us what used to happen in all these rooms. I won't tell you much about them because you can see for yourself that one is a bedroom, one's a dining room, one's a kitchen, and so on. But it was very interesting because it's been very well preserved, just the way it used to be. Now we move a little outside Svishtov, and if you look at this map, you'll see the river Danube splits into two and there's an island in the middle. And Mr. Smiley there is in the place where these shots were taken. We start with a drink of water from the mountain spring and then we head for the woods. When Colin runs his photographers trips, he brings, say, half a dozen photographers, 2 or 3 models, and takes them to various locations that are unique to a particular area or country. So you might argue that a forest isn't unique, but having the river Danube in the background might be. We didn't have a model for the shots here, so we had a driver. Zlati's sister was driving us around that day, that's Daniela, and she volunteered to act as a model so that Colin could get a feel for the various places. And Daniela even volunteered to climb that tree, but it wasn't the kind of tree for climbing, let's be honest. Of course, the river Danube is a pretty well-known river, and there are therefore lots of places that have been created as tourist sites along the banks of this river. And we're on the Bulgarian side here. What you can see across the river is Romania. The river divides the two countries. And I think Daniela's doing very well there, still taking her phone calls and doing all the normal things, but she's also posing for a few photographs for Colin, and he was pretty pleased with it. So we'll look forward to a trip for our photographers and models next year.